Hey guys, this is Fan Confessions, the channel about two friends, two fans, and the K-Wave. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lisa.
And welcome to the place where we share our love of all things K-pop, K-drama, and our personal experiences as fans. All right, we're back to talk about Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha.
We are episode 6.
Where's the dance, Lisa? We do the dance.
Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha.
And yes, we said episode 6. Sorry, interrupted you. I thought we had a thing going with the dance every time.
I'm sorry. I forgot tradition. We need to withhold tradition. Not withhold. Uphold.
Surreal by myself. That's all that happened here.
It's okay. I'll make up with her.
Okay. Awesome. So as aforementioned, we are continuing our series with Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Aside from the outside drama of what's going on in the real world, and then also I think you might have noticed we stopped with Lovers of the Red Sky. We will come back to talk about that after the series is over, but in the meantime we love this one so much, so we're just going to continue on with it.
Exactly, because this is like keeping us on the edge of our seats. We just got to know what happens.
Exactly. This one is the one we are hooked to this season. I think it's been one of our favorite dramas this year so far, so we wanted to see it through all the way to the end. But lucky for you guys, we're going to start stacking our watching of episodes, so it'll be coming to you faster than it was before.
So here we are, episode 6 in the beginning, after this like epically romantic, sweet little rain, playing in the rain scene, and Haejun has her little flashback, and what does Dushik do when he's confronted? Deny.
No kiss in the rain. That was really disappointing.
I know, like Richard, I'm sure, was very disappointed as well. He was just like, there has to be a kiss. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, he kind of expected as much. I don't know. He didn't complain too much about that scene. I think a girl's attention span and worry for that situation is a lot higher than a man's. He is much more into, we'll talk about it later, but the bromance that was happening in this episode.
Oh yeah, that was pretty epic.
Yeah, he was just more into that, which is funny, I guess, but he liked those scenes quite a bit, so yeah.
So did we, so there you go.
Yes, well, exactly. I feel like that was like one of my most, I don't know, any K-drama, give me a good bromance in it, and I absolutely adore it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. So she obviously was disappointed. I kind of knew this whole thing was just going to set them, they feel like magnets to me. They're either like really attracted to each other or really repelled, or at least she's really repelled and trying to be, and she immediately was like, no.
I know, but they're so very like self-protection mode, the both of them.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's like, no, it's like not, I wouldn't say commitment phobic, but very much like getting close to somebody phobic. Mm-hmm. They're like, don't want to get there, don't want to go there, we're staying back. And and then it's funny, kind of like she starts giving him the cold shoulder because she knows he's lying, and then like when he realizes that she did remember and that she knows he's lying, he was like really upfront with it. He's like,
yeah,
like, I don't want this like getting in the way of us being friends. Like, it happened. Don't worry about it.
What did he call it? Biological something.
Some biological situation or something like that, which I thought was kind of funny.
Said it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, interesting. But then also I'm like, make up your mind, because we as viewers see, like, well, they show it as if we're a person happening upon seeing them, and you can just see the way they interact together that there's something there, and he's denying it and she's denying it. Although it's funny because she's a little bit more accepting of it. We see that she's hurt because she thought that there was something, and then because he denied it, she's like, well then.
She's not because like it's very much the Hey Jin reaction of like, I'm this great catch, why is he not like all up in this?
Yeah, like what's wrong? There's something that must be seriously wrong with him for him to not. Yeah, I mean, which is what all to her having this confidence, I guess.
Exactly. Like we should all, every woman in the world should have that self-confidence and like self-assurance and how wonderful they are, because we are pretty wonderful.
Exactly. And so as we go on this episode, we also run into the man that runs the coffee shop and his little daughter Jury, who's running away. And
in a very epic fashion, not only does she run away, but she runs away with her dad's safe.
Which I'm like, I would think that she should know how to get in the safe so she doesn't have to actually take the whole thing.
But she took the whole thing, and like, man, this kid has got like ovaries on her. Like she is like got some serious gall. And like I gotta commend her for that, because she's like very brazen about this whole situation, and she's trying to get what she wants, because apparently she wants braces.
Yeah, it's very interesting how she is. I cannot relate to her as a child. I would have never in a million years. Like, okay, maybe I did try to run away, but like, I wasn't so smart as to have for any particular major reason, and that I was smart enough to take money as I did so.
No, we were not that bright.
Specific or that kind of thing. Like she was pretty calculated about what she did, and so she goes to Heijin of all people, which I guess it makes sense. They're starting to like connect a little bit more lately, right?
Yeah, they got a little bit of an older sister kind of aunt friendship blooming there, and it's kind of, and like she happens to be a dentist, so who better to like deal with the whole braces situation than Dr. Heijin? But it's kind of funny, like she's Heijin, like I think Heijin put it in a nice perspective. She was very much, she saw herself in Jury being like, loses your mother young, you got your dad's a little overprotective, so you run away from home sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I also thought it was interesting when Dushik gets in the mix and he's trying to chase her down because he knows exactly where she probably went. And he's chasing her around the room and it's like chaos. And then Heejin just like cuts it short. And the way that she put it was interesting. And I was like, I like that they did this in this drama, because I thought it like teaches kind of like the right manners between people. And it was like, she was like, look, clearly she's here because she came to me because I'm a safe place to go, and I'm a woman, and I'm a safe for her to be with right now. So can you just back off? And he
back off.
And he reacted well, right? Like he was like, okay, no problem, I'm out.
Well, I'm sure it took him a bit of a second to like snap to process that. But I think he was like, okay, yeah, give Jury some time,
and
to calm down.
The dad understand what was going on. But I was like, I thought that was well worded by Heijin in terms of like, I feel like that is something that is fair to like expect in society, that girls should have a safe mentor that's a woman that's older that they can go to if they want. So I thought that was like a good message.
I know there's so many great things and like that benefit kids from having like an older friend or like an aunt or that kind of figure in their lives that really benefits them in like kind of like getting through the hard stuff. Because like we love our parents and our parents are supportive, but our parents aren't always easy to talk to, especially when there's like conflict between you and your parents. So you need like an outside person to really like vent and get things off your chest and work things out, right?
Totally. And like this kind of just reminded me of like, it's kind of unfortunate in the world that we live in now, when you're in like a city or something like that, your neighbors, like you're not nearly as close as these people are in this little town.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to see that. And it kind of made me go, oh, when I was watching this episode, Richard, let's go live in a small town and just easy life. And like, not that it's easy, but just a different type of life.
Yeah. You feel like you can, you can build like a different kind of relationship with your neighbors.
Yeah. And so it just made me feel like, oh, I should really get to try and know my neighbors and people around me a little bit more, because I don't know, when I have kids, I want them to be able to rely on our neighbors if I trust them well enough as well.
Exactly. That's such a great point. Yeah.
So I mean, aside from that, so then she stays overnight, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's a cute little scene, I suppose, between the two of them and their relationship building. And then
on the flip side,
go ahead with that.
Yeah, on the flip side, over with Dad, it's like, I have to admit, okay, so Dad's getting emotional because that's his baby and she's away and they had a fight. So he's feeling guilty and he's feeling sad and he's like, he wants his baby girl close by him.
Yeah.
And he gets all like weepy and like teary. And I'm just like, oh my God, Dad tears.
Of course. Well, and it's funny, he's like mad at the same time as crying. Like talking about how that he's gonna punish her so bad when she gets home. Yeah, he's so distraught at the same time, which would be so true. Like, because you just get so attached, I can imagine, if you're in that situation. So it just made me like his character a little bit more.
I know. Like, he was already like one of the best characters as the side cast and sort of like the world building in this drama, but that just made me like him so much more.
Yeah. And I mean, I side more with the dad than I do with the daughter, because of course, like the things, like, so he said too, she wanted braces, and then of course he's like, his reason for telling her is it makes her unique, which I was like, that is a nice way to put it.
I know, and her snaggle tooth is cute.
Yeah. And then on top of it, he not only did that, but he also did look into it actually for her and how much it would cost. And then also he didn't want to do it because he thought it wasn't safe. It wasn't because he thought she just shouldn't do it. He actually really considered it. And I was like, oh, that was like really precious.
Oh, that was precious. I know that it's just like, it's like, it brought me back to my teenage years and having arguments with my mother and like our parents wanting the best for us and trying to be reasonable, and our like teenage emotions and hormones were just like unreasonable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you just get so bitter and specific about what you want, and you don't know how to think about the big picture like our parents do, right? And
yeah, exactly.
Like that. But I just really enjoyed that whole scenario. I really enjoy in K-dramas, they do the father-daughter relationships really well, I find, in many of them. And so I was kind of happy because in this one, we don't really get much of like Heijin's dad, which we did actually, they had a brief call this episode. And I guess it's showing she's like kind of repairing her relationship with her family a little bit. But
yeah, because it does seem a little bit distant between her and her dad a little bit, right? So, but it's nice to see like this kind of thread, and we see it through like the rest of the episode too, this sort of like father-daughter relationship thread that we've been seeing, and then it's like, it's really sweet. It
makes me feel good. I'm a daddy's girl, so it like always gets me in the feels whenever there's a series where that's a really strong bond. I'm like,
exactly.
I could totally, get that. So
here, I really love right there. Gets you right there.
And so I thought it was kind of cute that like, so Dushik is just like takes care of everybody. So he's like taking care of the dad, and they have a drink and whatever. So I enjoyed that scene as well. But
yeah, exactly. And he's like, it's so funny. And like I can't remember if it's exactly in that scene where Dushik's there to try and comfort him. Mm-hmm. But then he turns it around and says, why don't you start something with the doctor?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Why didn't you get together? Like, you don't always have to rely on yourself. You can find somebody to rely on for once too. And I thought Mr. Dushik, fiercely like talented and can do everything. And he's right. He doesn't really have a lot of people he himself can lean on. Everybody leans on him, but he doesn't lean on anybody else, right?
Yep. Well, again, that just made that character seem so much better to me, because it's the first person that's ever approached that situation properly with them as well. Right?
Exactly.
Like he didn't feed into the drama that was going on in town, but he said it as a friend to him, observing what was going on in the right way, not in like a weird, like, hey, like situation.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What's going on?
That was just, I enjoyed that part of the whole.
I know, like our cafe owner / one-hit wonder 90s musician is like, he's just warm in our hearts, and he's winning points. He's winning points.
Totally. And so then in thinking of this, we oh my goodness, the second male lead has started to appear in this episode a heck of a lot more, and he's looking for Heijin.
Exactly. And it's so obviously. without really saying so, but it's so frustrating. It was like, oh my god, because they like just miss each other so many times in this episode, and it's just like, how are you missing each other? How is this happening? You're like within
KDrama cliche. Of course they miss each other because they're gonna meet at a very opportune moment. That's the point.
Holy cow, they do.
Oh my god, so funny. So like the fact that, well, okay, we'll keep talking because it kind of happens near the end of the episode. There's more that had happened, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So amazing. So the
music show, is that your...
the music show, yes. The music talent contest,
talent show that comes to town. So then of course it's like they had this meeting, and then which I didn't understand where this came. At first I thought it was literally going to be a talent show among the people and that they had done like organized it themselves, but it seems like it's a touring kind of talent show that's trying to get people and maybe make them bigger or something, because they had bigger acts at it, right? And
it was more like of a town sponsored singing contest, and it was all local talent. They had a bit of a special performance at the end, I think, because possibly the sponsor, our second male lead,
right,
he turns out to be not just food like television production, but just television production period, that we find out later. Maybe I think he might have been involved in a little bit of it. But it's so fun seeing all our favorite town characters come out and show their vocal chops.
Oh man!
And jury decides she's going to participate, if only to win the prize money and get her braces done. After all,
of course. She has a mission and she's gonna accomplish it no matter what, it seems, right?
Well, even a twisted ankle, because our girl gets hurt while practicing too hard, and she's limping around, but she's bound and determined to still perform. Yeah. So who comes to her rescue but Uncle Dushek and Aunt Heijin? They decide to be her backup dancers, which is ridiculous and hilarious and so sweet all at the same time.
Oh my gosh. How many times have we seen them dance together, like silly, like, and sing silly things together this series? I was just thinking that now. It's happened a couple of times and it's always precious, but oh man, it was like, I don't even know. I can't even put into words how I felt about that.
It's totally their thing now, though.
Yes, it was very cringy, but super hilarious to watch because Dushik's just completely out of sync and does not care. And I was surprised. I thought she would be more mad at him for being out of sync, but she just like went with it anyway.
I know, she was just like, do you even know the choreo? Because I know this choreo.
Right, as if she was gonna do it extra good, which it was just like kind of, well, it was like if I were to try and do it.
Exactly. She probably did better than us because like we are like uncoordinated to the max in terms of the dancing. But still, it was very similar to, I think, to our skill level.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then Jerry, bless her heart, not a very good singer, but you know, I guess it had that cute factor.
Definitely had the cute factor. It was entertaining. It brought people's attention. So there you go.
And we were sure to think, oh, they're going to win. And then this cute kid, which I never forget, I remember this kid's name, but it's like one of the villagers' children, the little girl with glasses, and a joke that actually it looks like it's Richard with my hair. as a kid. Because it had like, she has like blonde hair and bangs, and I've had bangs in the past, and she's got glasses kind of like my glasses, but she's just cute and like kind of chubby, and Richard was really chubby as a kid, so I was like,
that possibly a prediction for what your future children will look like.
I don't know if I would let her have blonde hair and bangs like that, but at that young of an age to dye her hair, but
there you go,
could be very possible.
But anyway,
she's so cute and precious.
She comes out and she's so cute and so precious and so very talented, so like third place is probably as good as Jury was gonna get, but she still got third place, which is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I think it turned out to be, I can't remember, Richard was telling me he was converting the money for me as we were watching. I think it was only a couple $100 is what she ended up winning, which I mean is not that bad. So I don't know, Brace is probably a heck of a lot more, but hey, she added to her pot.
Exactly, she was adding it to the fund, and Haejin decided, you know what, I'll just take the whole thing and I'll do your braces for you. You can pay me back the rest later. And then she's like, oh.
And so afterwards, it's like they're kind of just walking around. I suppose the fairways, everyone's kind of leaving and going their own ways. And then I can't remember what made Dushik almost fall. Do you remember where he almost fell? Well, someone hit him.
Somebody bumped him from behind, but like beforehand, when the fireworks were going off and Haejin was admiring him, admiring the fireworks, he was admiring Haejin.
Of course he was. That's where I'm like, make up your mind, dude. Like you.
I know, it's so obvious.
Those moments, which that happens anytime a K-drama and there is fireworks on, guaranteed the girl is sitting there and being like, wow, it's so beautiful, and the guy is staring at her and he's like, yeah, it is. I feel like I've seen that scene so many times I can't even count it on my head.
I know, exactly. But hence why he was distracted. Hence why he was distracted and lets himself get bumped. But luckily, Haejin grabs one arm and our second male lead, Mr. Seong-hyun, grabs the other. And like, it's just like,
oh, he didn't just grab his arm. He had the full like grab him by the back kind of save moment, which made me laugh and love it that much more, because I was like, yes, the guy is saving him like it's the girl. There.
Total bromance. I can understand why you're digging the bromance.
Yeah, we laughed. And so as they get closer and whatever, we'll talk about that next episode. But yeah, Richard was like, do you think I have a bromance like that? Am I gonna have a guy in my life that I'm gonna be that close with and bond with? I'm like, I don't know. We gotta find you a bromance.
We gotta find you a bro, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but they just have a very unique, like they just get along so well and they click so well, and it's very cute to watch. And so
it is such a great dynamic between those two.
Yeah,
like
those actors are
even exactly it's such a great chemistry between those two guys and the actors, and it's just fantastic. I'm really digging that.
I almost like it more than the main romance situation going on.
A little bit at this moment. A little bit.
I'm all for it.
Exactly. Give us more of dude bro time.
Exactly. That kind of like takes us to the end a little bit, and then we get a bit of a flashback, right?
Yeah, it's a fun flashback. How I like to put it, the moral of our last 10 minutes is basically dads are awesome. Dushik likes unnecessarily pretty things.
Yeah.
And Mr. Second Lead isn't as directionally challenged as we had thought.
Yeah. Well, of course. Well, actually, I thought that scene was hilarious too, because he's like, go this way. And he's watching him, and of course he goes the opposite way, but for very good reason, obviously.
For every good reason, because he's following Haejin. He gets a glimpse of like, I think I know that woman, and off he goes. And we understand why, and all questions have been answered. But also, another great part of the flashback is like Haejin had mentioned to Jury that when she was her age, she ran away from home too. And she happened to run away to our seaside town, where she seems to just keep being drawn back to, and the happy memories there and a little bit of sad memories there. And as like high schoolers wandering around, she bumps into this very kind young man who pays the rest of her milk money at the convenience store, and like you see the name tag and it's like destiny.
Yeah, I know, I guess so. And I was like so dumb for a while there because I was like, it's the second male lead, it's the second like I assumed in my head that they were trying to lead up to how they knew each other previously. And then I'm like, oh, it's Dushik again. Okay,
of course it's Dushik.
It does make more sense in the seaside town, although the second male lead is drawn to the seaside town too quite a bit, it seems. And maybe, I don't know, I got this feeling like he's been there before otherwise too for some reason, so maybe we'll
I'm not 100% sure, but possibly. But I think our two, it's just showing, like highlighting just how connected our two leads are in this story, back from childhood to
later in
adolescence and then as adults.
Yeah,
but
it's like it's just trying to draw more parallels between the kind of life they had, and maybe they were feeling the same things at similar times.
Exactly, they're just meant to be in each other's lives. Well, that's it for this week's episode, and we're feeling pretty good as we continue for this show. As we've mentioned before, it's turning to really one of our favorites this year.
Yeah, it's going by so quick. I'm happy we're doing more than one episode in like our bunch of watching now, because it's like so easy to just like, they're saying it's hard to stop and not watch another episode for a week or so. So it's been great to do more than one episode back to back.
Exactly. So if you guys are enjoying the series too, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's coming. And please comment, tell us how you're feeling about the series and your thoughts on how the characters are interacting and the relationships that are building. What's your favorite funny scene? Did something make you laugh out loud? That'd be great to know.
Yeah. And who's winning your heart right now? Are you for our second male lead, or are you, well, I mean, we don't know that much about him yet, but are you excited about the prospect of him, or are you Dushik all the way?
Yeah. Is anybody suffering from syndrome yet?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he is pretty handsome, but I think I'm still in Dushik camp, but we'll see as the series goes along, right?
Exactly.
All right. Like Lisa said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.